All right, my droogies. Oh my God. You know, Jussie Smollett, this guy is just he stages his own attack, makes the whole thing up, hires people to do it, and the mainstream media just trips on their own dicks to cover it. They just love it. And they love it because it has the bleach thing, so that's anti-black. You're trying to bleach them white. You have the MAGA hat. It's Trump. Okay, they're hooded, so we'll just assume they're white guys. Um, it goes on and on. This guy, he tailor fit the crime that he made up to fit the mainstream media narrative. Hmm, that's really weird. Now, did Jussie come up with this whole thing on his own, or did he have help? I think he had help, but you can't prove that. So let's just put that on the back shelf. We know he lied. So here you have a guy that is a bing ding 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 professional actor. Okay, that fits. That's all the false flags we've had have had professional actors in them, and his spot on the show was in danger, so he's looking at losing his job, and so he's in a pickle. He really is in a pickle. His gravy train has come to an end. So what better way than to vault yourself into stardom using a mainstream media psyop, which is what they do all the time. So at let's take a little look at how much guffawing Jussie Smollett really had.
It's barbaric.
It really is. I mean, in this day and age, come on, it's got to stop.
It's
I met
gotta stop.
Jussie when I was working actually with his sister, Journey Smollett. We did a movie together called Temptation.
Oh,
we
we're going to
did
go over
Trip to
her
Bannacle,
has-been
at the
career
Ombudsman
now.
Theater with Cicely Tyson, and he came and saw the performance. He's a lovely person. No one deserves any of this. And it's terrifying.
It's scary. This is scary. It's so sad.
It is sad. It really is sad.
It's
The mainstream
crazy because
media.
to me, this is like domestic terrorism.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how are you out here
So now he's a
terrorizing? We're terrorizing
terrorist.
our own people with this hatred. This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Was it a hate crime or a hoax? Law enforcement sources tell CNN the Chicago police now believe that Empire actor Jussie Smollett
Yeah,
paid
yeah.
two men to orchestrate an attack on him. Smollett's attorneys deny that the actor played any role in his own attack. So joining us now to talk about all of this is
What?
Charles Blow. He's an opinion columnist for the New York Times, and Brian Stelter. He's CNN's chief media
yeah,
correspondent.
of
Great to have
course. Yeah,
both
he's
of
in
you
deep
here. Brian, I
doo-doo
remember
right
in the
now.
hours right after this happened, that CNN, that our bosses were
Brian's gonna
advising to
straighten
pump
us
the
out.
brakes a little bit because there were some things already that didn't add up. I was frankly surprised how many people jumped on board to side with
pump
Jussie
the brakes.
Smollett
They were full
before
gas.
There were
They were-
photos, before there
Oh,
were
my
police
God, pump the
statements,
brakes.
before all that stuff. And so, how do you think this all?
Pump the
what was
brakes,
the
all right.
trajectory of how this went wrong?
Yeah, the headline was so sensational and so disturbing. It first came out on TMZ. Not only did Smollett said he'd been attacked, but the attacker said,
what
this is
is
MAGA
the
country.
trajectory?
Well, obviously, Chicago at 2 in the morning is not MAGA country, so that didn't make sense in the first place. Lots of parts of the story didn't make sense. But activists, actors, Hollywood celebrities, friends of Smollett, Democratic presidential candidates, they all wanted to sound like they were doing the right thing, saying the right thing, standing up for a victim. There's an inherent tension in this story between wanting and needing to believe victims, and yet knowing that people can take advantage of that, taking advantage of the idea that it's important to believe victims. And that
I'm not
tension has been in
buying
the story
this.
for weeks. There was a rush to judgment. I think it was mostly in the celebrity press and among activists
is
and
a
among
perfect
Twitter
storm
people.
for
I think
CNN.
it was a really careful reporting by news organizations, but it all gets lumped in together at the end of the day.
Rush
It all
to
gets lumped together in the
judgment.
minds of many people who now look at this and say, what went wrong here? And obviously, at the end of the day, what went wrong is that he may have made it up. And ultimately, that's his responsibility.
No, it doesn't get lumped in. No, you are on the cross of fake news, and if anything, this has firmly put you there. Let's see what Fox News has to
The claim
say.
by Empire actor Jussie Smollett, as you see here, that the victim of a bias attack was quickly met with widespread media
Oh,
coverage.
yeah,
and next
he
to
sure
Smollett,
was.
this alleged crime
Widespread
attack
media
on a Jewish
coverage.
man in Brooklyn, New York,
Mainstream
occurring
media.
within 24 hours. Hate crime was captured on surveillance video with minimal coverage, but why the
See,
discrepancy?
now we're going to bring
Joining me
in
with that take and the impact
a
the
Jewish
Smollett case is
person that
having
was
on politics
attacked
is
at the
Ben
same
Shapiro,
time.
editor-in-chief of
Why we're doing
DailyWire.com.
that,
He's
I don't
also
know,
a
but we're
syndicated
doing
columnist,
that.
host of the Ben Shapiro Show, author of the upcoming book. I mean, we could go on, but we want to get your take on this, Ben, because you wrote about this yesterday. And it was pretty stark when you look at the differences.
Absolutely. I mean, one of these assaults was caught on tape. The other turns out to have been a complete hoax. The amount of attention paid to the assault on the Jewish man in New York was nil. I mean, the media legitimately did not cover it.
In New York,
the amount of attention on Jussie Smollett, of
it
course,
just
was
muddies
enormous.
the water.
And that's because there was a narrative to be promoted. Jonathan Capehart of the Washington Post nearly admitted this on MSNBC. He essentially said that a lot of people bought into the Jussie Smollett narrative, which is that Trump supporters are stalking black people all around America, seeking to beat them, seeking to harass them. And this was a perfect story. Now, when a story is too perfect to be true, it usually is. And this was one of those cases. The real question is why hate crimes in New York, which have been up dramatically this year, largely targeting Jews in New York City.
Yeah, we have some numbers on that.
All right, let's take a look at why this was such a perfect storm for the media. It fits all the metrics. Like when Fox News or CNN is trying to divide and conquer, which is their main objective, it hits all the high points. So let's go over the anti-black. Okay, that's going to be visceral because anti-black is just, we can't have that. Anti-gay. This is the mainstream media. It's all about gay rights and LGBTQ, the 58 genders they now assign. It's anti-Trump because you had the MAGA hat. So boom, boom, boom. And then he's a celebrity. That's another one. There's 5. So his performance will be believable because he's a pro actor. Check. So if you look at the false flag shootings, you have David Wheeler. It goes on for days on how many professional actors they put in these skits. That's what they call them, skits. Then we go into mainstream media tripped on their own dicks to foment race hatred. Yes, they did. Divide and conquer. They whipped this thing up 6 ways till Sunday. They mentioned a rope and lynching was the method that wasn't used. So he didn't get lynched, but he brought this device with him. He purchased the rope and put it around his own neck. Check. Then we have the reaction to the Jussie, Smollett thing, and the mainstream media outlets universally they slow pedal it. They'll let's put the brakes on a little bit at a time. They're really not even admitting yet. They're sort of admitting that it was complete bullshit, but they're not really. So, he's lawyered up and blah, blah, blah. This thing will be dragged out and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And you'll be lucky if you remember who Jussie Smollett is. His career is over. It's done. But, which is unfortunate because, he's probably a nice guy, but, he's a lying sack of shit. So, that's it.
Jussie Smollett.
So let's take a look at the young jerks.
Chunk. He reported a crime to Chicago police that has got people a little bit puzzled.
Chunk.
So,
he dodged a bullet in this. He didn't cover this.
It's source of great controversy, and I want to break it down for you guys.
Thanking his lucky stars.
First, in case you didn't hear, I want to give you the original story as Smollett reported to the police. I want to give you the updates and then talk about what the media should do, okay? So I'm going to go to CNN here. Smollett told reporters he was attacked
the Crank News Network.
Early January 29th by 2 men who were yelling out racial and homophobic slurs. He said one attacker put a rope around his neck and poured an unknown chemical substance on him. He went on to say police were told 2 men yelled empire and then the F word that is derogatory towards the gay community.
Don't forget the MAGA hats, Junk.
While striking him. Now, he does work on the show Empire, and he is a member of the LGBT community. So, I have to confess that I was initially skeptical about this story.
You were skeptical?
I have not reported it at all here on the Young Turks. I didn't tweet about it. I didn't do any video about it.
Loving that you didn't do that.
So, if you ask me why you're skeptical, that's actually a fair question. Because a guy comes out and says some terrible thing that happened to him, and there's, under normal circumstances, no reason to disbelieve him. And it is, of course,
really? Under most circumstances, no reason to disbelieve him. Okay, all right. Obviously Chunk isn't, from the Young Jerks, is not watching mainstream media. So let's watch ABC News fall on the sword real quickly, just to give you an idea of the rush to cover this story.
I'm Robin Roberts in New York. Musician and actor Jussie Smollett sat down with me for his first interview since that night in Chicago. Smollett told me how he's doing now and responds to those who doubt his account.
How is he doing?
I'm pissed off.
You're pissed. What
is it that has you so angry? Is it the
fake beating?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks.
Or is it the...
It's like, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then
please,
that's it.
Then your career is over. Your career is over.
Then it became a thing of like, oh,
you will forever be known as the guy who made, it's like the boy who cried wolf all over again.
And then it became a thing of like, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
Right.
What happened that night, Jussie?
When I landed
I'm sorry, this
in
is
Chicago,
this is
and Frank Jackson,
ABC.
who's like my uncle, and he's also my creative director, and he picked me up. And then we got back to the apartment. There was no food, and so I went out to Walgreens thinking that they were 24 hours and to have a smoke. Walgreens was closed. So I called him up and I said, hey, I'm going to run to Subway, which was across the street, and I'm going to get a salad. Do you want anything? I went to the Subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager.
And no one's vetted the story. No one has vetted the story. No one has picked up a telephone. No one has done anything. And he's on ABC News. It's going on about blah, 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 da, 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 I give up. I really do. If you can't see this as mainstream media jerking you off, I don't know what to tell you. So there you have it. You have the mainstream juggernaut fabricating stories again. And this one is just so egregious, and it fits so well. You really have to wonder, did Jussie Smollett act alone in this? I highly doubt it. But you can't prove that. But you can prove that it's fake as fuck. And that's it. I don't know what to say aside from it's the mainstream media race baiting again. And that's it, guys. Have a great day, and sub it up if you liked it, if you learned something, or if it made you laugh, whatever. That's it. Carpe diem, guys.
Your interview, Jussie Smollett, and so many questions out there about what happened.
It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, and there are very few leads, leading many to have questions about that night.
The president is constantly lying and spreading conspiracy theories every day. It's getting worse.